the days of, keyword rankings and blue links and things like that are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And people are asking questions and the AI is, answering them. And so the way to win that, the way forward is, again, it's brand. I keep going back to it, but it's your brand and being kind of present everywhere.
Welcome to the Marketing Expedition Podcast, an auditory journey through the latest in marketing, branding, and advertising. Now, here's your Marketing Expedition guide, Ray Allen.
On this episode of the Marketing Expedition Podcast, I want to share with you about Chris Rossi. And of course, we're going to talk with Warren too, but Chris Rossi is the founder of ClickSluice, a digital marketing agency based in Boise, Idaho, that helps local service businesses bring in more customers through SEO, paid search, and conversion-focused websites. His work also extends into brand development, sales copy, and helping owners sharpen the unique selling propositions that set them apart. He's a Google Ads certified partner, teaches digital marketing courses for the National Business Institute, and has been featured in Law.com, Lawyer Monthly, and Attorney at Work. With a background in both marketing and information technology, his focus has now been in integrating AI across the agency. He builds custom tools for visibility in traditional and AI search engines, paid ad optimization, website development, and more. These tools help his team produce faster and better results for their clients. So we're going to talk with him and share a little bit of a case study that he's doing with Spa 35 and Warren's company. So we'll get into that. And then we also get to speak with Warren Danforth, and he's the owner of Spa 35 Medical Spa, a business he launched 20 years ago in downtown Boise. And Spa 35 helps people look and feel their best with a long list of non-invasive cosmetic services that include Botox, Juvederm, IPL laser treatments, and cool sculpting fat remover. And of course, I and Warren have worked together on developing future marketing leaders using Spa 35 as a potential client for Boise State students that I was teaching. And so Spa 35 and Warren was our client, and we had them become the agency of record, if you will. And Warren brings a unique combination of experience to the med spa industry, and his leadership and management practices in the aesthetics business are influenced by more than 15 years in sales and general management positions as a pioneer in the wireless telecommunications industry. So we're in for a treat. Both Warren and Chris have to offer what they're doing in Warren's business to help market the Spa 35 brand, but also just some of the tactics and things that are taking place with AI and SEO and all of the wonderful things that are happening and keeping us modern and leading edge of what we're doing. So we're in for that. But first, it's now time for your Marketing Essentials moment, the basics that you need to help you continue to build your brand and your bottom line. For today's topic, I thought it would be fun to actually go to Reddit and ask what are the top AI tools for marketing today. And it'll go right along with the conversation we're having with Warren and Chris. But I thought it'd be fun just to see what the AI, here's what people are talking about inside of Reddit, because a lot of these LLMs are utilizing Reddit to scrub information to then give the results. So why not go directly to the source? And so here we go. Most recommended core LLMs, according to the Reddit users, pure user generated content here from Reddit. So Claude, long form and strategy, preferred for deep analysis, long documents, and writing that needs to sound like a specific person. Claude for anything that requires thinking through a problem rather than just generating an output. And then, of course, we have ChatGPT for ideas and drafts, the daily go-to for quick ideas, captions, and rewrites. ChatGPT is best for ideas and ad copy. And then there's the other one called Perplexity. So fast research and intel used for quick orientation and competitive real-time research. Perfect, but saves a lot of context switching if you're experimenting a lot. That's what one of the users said. And this is all compiled as a summary, an AI summary here. And then here's some additional information, tools that move the needle by use case. So content plus SEO, Surfer SEO. We use Surfer SEO and have used it quite a bit. There's another one called Neuron Writer, which I've never used before, but Surfer SEO is more for structuring content than really optimizing the keywords, helping with SEO. And then Of course, for creative and visuals, Canva, Magic Studio. For quick visuals and social assets, Canva is basically a tool. If you're not necessarily a graphic designer, you can use Canva to help you, and the AI tools that you can use with the Magic Write and image generation. And they're actually doing pretty well. And, you can get some template-y things that are put together. It doesn't always spit out exactly what you want. And you have to just kind of massage with it and work with it. My students use it at Boise State when they were putting together their proposals and pitches. And it's a collaborative tool. It works pretty well in that regard. So video and talking head, there's a tool called HeyGen for spokesperson style video. Again, you're going to get what you pay for, right? It's not going to be exactly what you want always, and until you kind of keep working at it. And then audio voice, of course, we use Riverside FM to do a lot of our audio engineering for podcasting, but I've also used it. I used the AI tool. One time I accidentally pronounced somebody's name wrong throughout the entire podcast. And so I typed up the phonetic spelling and it sampled my voice and found all the spots where I said it wrong and replaced it. It made it sound just natural. You couldn't even really tell that I had said the name wrong, which was pretty cool. But then there's other ones called Even Labs. Not sure of that one. I've not used that one before, but it's less recommended as a top tool. And then Ad Creative and Research. There's several different ones like Ad Genius, Get Hooked, Creatify for testing ad hooks and reverse engineering top performing ads. Those are some ways to get some inspiration of things that you want to maybe do for yourself. And then repurposing and editing. Of course, we do that here at Peppershock, but if you need quick down and dirty ways of doing it, there is CapCut, or even utilizing, the TikTok studio. If you TikTok videos, those types of things, there's different ways of doing it. We use, of course, the Adobe products, and there's all kinds of AI features that they keep rolling out every moment. So lots of things we can do, even like extending a shot. Maybe it got cut too short, or we want to extend it just a little bit longer because maybe we have some more voiceover that we want to say. You can make it, and if there's a model on camera, she can blink and she can do all these things that you can just extend the shot just a little bit longer. Or you can replace things with other images and make a lot of things happen. We had to change the color because new branding dictated new colors in one of the clients we have. And so we had old footage, but it's an event, so we couldn't really go shoot new footage until the event happens, but we're there to promote the event from last year's footage. Well, the new brand and colors come out, and we were able to just tell AI to switch up the colors, and it did beautifully. Lots of capabilities that we can do with Adobe products too. Other types of AI tools: productivity, automation, and ops. So workflow automation. Of course, Zapier AI, where they do the integrations between two different types of platforms, kind of thing, kind of really helps make that automation kind of flow through multiple different systems. So N8N for orchestration and syncing audiences. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that you can layer in with that. The CRM outreach kind of things. There's one that's called Clay for scalable outreach and lead list building. There's others out there. And then, of course, reporting and meetings. Oh my gosh, there's so many ones. There's Fathom, Loom for client reports. I've been using the Fixer app, FYXCR.ai. It'll come on to my Zoom calls or my Google Meets or anything that I want to record. Another one that somebody just turned me on to is called Granola. It records, and then you can record phone calls too if you would like to. You have to be careful with that because sometimes some states you have to make sure that people know that you're recording. In some states, some areas, Idaho, I looked it up. It's just as long as one person gives consent for the recording, you can do that. I use it to record so that I can have the transcription and call back any action items that I may need to delegate or give to other people, but it's really super helpful. Anyway, I just thought it would be fun to kind of use AI to ask what the top AI tools are for all these different things that people are using AI for. There's so many tools and so many things that keep coming out. I have to be really careful to stop my free trial subscriptions, right? And test them all out and make sure that if I want to keep it, I have to be doing my due diligence to keep the subscription. And if not, then got to cut it off, right? Anyway, a lot of people are kind of doing different things with different AI tools and pairing them together based on what it is and what you want and how they can integrate. So I just recommend asking your AI tool, what's the best for this? What tool is the best for this? And it'll give you some results. Gemini, of course, in Google is now going to be out in everything. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, there's getting results served up. So go check it out. And it's kind of a fun little thing, a little exercise to do to see what the tools are and do the free trials. But again, word to the wise, make sure you cancel your subscriptions if you're not going to keep it. That's it. Welcome to the Marketing Expedition podcast. I'm your host, Ray Allen. I'm the president and CEO of Peppershock Media and the founder of the Marketing Expedition community. And I have two guests with me today. We have Warren from Spa 35. Welcome to the show, Warren. And then we'll talk about Chris next. But share a little bit about who you are and what you do and how we know each other, Warren.
Oh, absolutely. As always, nice seeing you, Ray.
Yeah.
I think it's been probably 8 or 9 years we've been doing stuff together, and obviously, well, we've done a previous podcast on the work you did with Boise State and the marketing class. That was just so much fun. And obviously, we've got doing some stuff going on now with Shakespeare concert. But I think from an AI perspective, I'm really excited to talk about the topic today because AI is just so hot. I just did a webinar for a computer company I use internally within Spa 35, and they're doing a bunch of AI enhancements. And it really makes you think about what's going to happen to small, medium-sized businesses and the marketing agencies that they work with as AI becomes a bigger and bigger piece of the whole pie. And, and Spa 35 is a medical spa. We've been around for 20 years, and I work really closely with Chris Rossi over at ClickSluice. And Chris is, I'll call Chris the brain, right? He's got the SEO and the GEO, right? Yeah, he's the human touch. So I put needles and pieces in people's faces, and Chris gets them in the share. So we work really closely together.
Yeah. So Chris, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got started, and maybe a little more about how you work with Warren.
So I'm the owner and founder of ClickSluice. I'm kind of a full-time owner-operator, so I'm still deep in the trenches of doing it, and been doing it for about 15 years. Just kind of fell into it. I was an affiliate marketer for a lot of years, and then I just got into the consulting business, and we specialize in local service businesses. That's kind of really our area of expertise, and that's how I got hooked up with Warren with the med spa. We have a few med spa clients, but again, local service businesses, and that's what we got hooked up.
I like that you said we put needles in people's faces, and Chris puts them in the chair to get there. Yeah.
Hey, let me give Chris a plug too. Your audience won't know this. So I was struggling with my SEO a little bit, and I did a little bit of research. I actually bought the SEO for Dummies book, and I'm thinking, all right, how do I do this? I actually went in the office one day, and I was doing some technology work. I went in the office one day because I wasn't in the office a lot at the time, and I Googled Spa 35, and we didn't show up anywhere. And I was like, I pulled the fire alarm. I was like, holy shit, what am I going to do? So I actually went onto Google and I searched for SEO companies in Boise, and Chris was the only group that had a Google profile that was complete, who had reviews on his Google profile, who had populated his Google profile. I was like, man, this is the guy I got to talk to.
Well, right. I mean, I guess it's if you can show and share and tell with your own brand, then it might be good for others too.
Practice what you preach. We try anyway.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes, like, what's the cobbler's shoe or the shoe? The shoemaker's daughter has no shoes kind of thing. Sometimes we get backburnered and trying to get our own stuff done, but it seemed like it worked for you.
Yeah. Got lucky on that one.
Yeah.
Got lucky on that one.
So Chris, you said you've been in business for 15 years, and you said you kind of from affiliate marketing transitioned into helping with SEO, but not just SEO now. There's a whole lot more. Let's talk a little bit more about kind of the areas that you're focusing on now in the ever-evolving world of AI.
Yeah. Really, we started as SEOs and that sort of thing back in the day, and just evolved as the need became. I quickly recognized that ranking at the top of Google is great, but if it doesn't equal ROI for the client at the end of the day, then it doesn't really matter. And so we pivoted pretty quickly into a no contract type of agency. We were seeing a lot of agencies, SEO agencies, signing the 12-month contracts and all this, and then a lot of clients coming to us saying, I'm not seeing any results, I don't like this, I'm not happy. And so we wanted to solve that issue. And so we kind of took a left turn and we said, okay, we're not going to do any contracts, nothing like that, and we're just going to focus purely on ROI. And so that forced us to pivot, and that's what we did. We started to focus on really the conversion aspect of it and the rabbit hole that is that. And we realized real quick that a lot of local service businesses struggle with their branding. They struggle with their unique selling proposition. They struggle with all those things. And so we really pivoted to start to focus on their branding and on their marketing as a whole, so that we're not just driving traffic, but helping them convert the traffic once it got there. And that's really the full spectrum of marketing right now that a lot of people don't even really recognize. It's you need to get found first, but you've got to convert them second. So it kind of evolved into that whole package, and then that's the direction we've kind of gone with AI, is that we're building out systems to help us do that. We're capturing our knowledge bases, and we're able to basically just do more of it at scale. And so that's kind of the direction we're at right now.
Okay. So Warren, how has he helped your website? You said you got him on, from doing that Google search to what kind of walk us through the process. What happened next?
I think I would start with the analytics and the numbers. I think when Chris was talking about kind of that, I call it an ecosystem, right? You can't just rank at the highest. You got to have a call to action. You got to have a value proposition. You got to have a unique selling proposition. So from a strategy perspective, Chris and I talk a lot about, all right, what differentiates you from everyone else? And I think it's one of the really interesting parts about AI is people adopt AI tools. I see that whole piece narrowing because everyone's going to have access to these tools, right? So how do you have a unique selling proposition when everyone's doing the exact same AI prompts?
Yeah.
And how do you differentiate yourself on that way? But I think, Chris has been critical for us in helping us design the strategy, the branding, the colors, the unique selling proposition. And we talk a lot about kind of the flow through. Like, at some point, his job's done, then my job comes in. So my team has got to execute on the calls and leads that we get in.
Yeah.
So I think we work really closely about it. Okay, if I'm having a great month, what happened in a great month, right? Or I'm having a not so great month, what happened in a not so great month? And how do we divide, which piece of that funnel is working and which piece needs some work.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about the numbers. He's really good about, what are people searching for, what's got the most value, where should we do some ads, things along those lines, like where should our marketing budget go?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
let's talk a little bit more about that, because med spas, there are certain words you can't use or claims and things you can't do, right?
Yeah.
There's like rules that you have to follow.
Yep. Yeah, Google's pretty strict about a lot of things, yeah.
Yeah, so kind of talk about those challenges. Like, how do you overcome those things that when they kind of slap your hand and say, nope, you can't do that. Nope, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
well, I call Chris.
Yeah.
So, we ran into that early, and we basically came up with a strategy, kind of a 2-website strategy. So Warren's Spa 35 was ranking pretty well, had a lot of domain authority. It was aged and all those things. So we kept that for the organic rankings and continued to push them there. But then we developed a second website for the pay-per-click ads.
Okay.
And so, for example, there was a long stretch of time where Google would not allow you to run ads to a website that even had a Botox page. Couldn't run the ads at all, even if it just said Botox, if we weren't running Botox ads. So then we pivoted and we created that second website and ran all the ads to that.
Okay.
And
what do you call it, fillers instead? Can you get away with that? I don't know.
Well, we just we basically organic for Botox and then paid for other things. So we had to separate kind of a 2-pronged strategy. And that worked really well.
Yeah, that's smart, because then you can have on the site that you're trying to drive ads to that, they won't slap your hand and say, no, you can't do that. And you just get other things that are the benefits of the things that you do.
100%.
Yeah.
And it worked out because, we started to eventually rank the pay-per-click site as well. And so now Warren appears on page 1 sometimes 4 and 5 times.
Okay.
So you'll be in the paid ad, you'll be in the map pack, you'll be in the blue links twice. So you just start to dominate the first page, and that comes in the whole the kind of branding aspect. Right back to that is that when you see someone on page 1, 3, and 4, and 5 times, you just automatically start to assume that this must be the best one.
Right.
And so a conversion side of that starts to help, and so you start to convert all around.
Yeah. When you're in multiple results, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about AI results, though, because now we've got Gemini, and then Google just announced a big master. I didn't even read I just saw the headline. I'm hoping that you know more about that than I do.
Yeah.
But so now Gemini is supposed to be in everything, right?
Yeah, it's going more and more that way. I mean, it's been that way. It's becoming more adopted, and really, it's kind of it's evolving to a search everywhere type of thing. So
universal,
yeah. The days of keyword rankings and blue links and things like that are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And people are asking questions, and the AI is answering them, and so the way to win that, the way forward is, again, it's brand. I keep going back to it, but it's your brand and being kind of present everywhere. So making sure that you have that presence. We call it digital PR. So for a lot of our clients, it's making sure that they're, in the places that the AI are pulling answers for. So for attorneys, it's going to be like bestlawyers.com and stuff, simple things like that. But, getting found in multiple places, and then building on your expertise, you become the answer for the AI. And so that's a good way to do it.
And it seems like we don't have as many restrictions now in AI. I mean, like we have with ad restrictions and terms and terminology you can use. It's still kind of the wild, wild west.
Very much.
Seems like. So you can get in at the forefront and still use the word Botox, and it might be okay, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's. I mean, what's old is new again. So blogs, for example, because what's happening is they're shifting from the 2 and 3 keyword searches to the 5 and 10 keyword searches. They're asking questions, and the AI has to pull those answers from somewhere. And Google's algorithm is designed to pull those from authoritative places. They want to provide a real answer from the best source possible. And so that is a massive opportunity for business owners to start to curate and leverage their expertise. And you do that with your website, your blogs, video content, things like that. If you start doing that, you're already ahead of the curve.
We've noticed that a lot with video content and using the subtitles and then text in the titles of, because people sometimes won't even turn the audio up. They'll just read, the subtitles on 100%. Videos. But then the other kind of cool thing about that is now all of those words are turned into things that people can search.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Google's doing it they've done it for some time, but pretty much every AI, like every video you create, every ad you do on Meta, anything like that, the AI is transcribing that. So it's, they talk about, the creative is the new targeting. And it's true. Before you used to have to go through and pick people who are 45 to 65 who have a household income of XYZ, and you hoped to maybe get some targeting. Whereas now you just make a video, you make an ad, and you just speak directly to them. The AI algorithm will transcribe everything you say, and it will go and it will find your very best customer, your very best client, and it will show that ad right to them. You don't even have to target anymore. You just make your messaging correct. So messaging, branding, again, keeps coming back to that.
So Warren, have you seen some of these results now popping up? I mean, so like he said, what is old is now new in ways to market to people. Have you started seeing that in the results of what's happening now with your website?
Yeah, so just probably 3 or 4 months ago, we started getting people calling us up and saying, hey, I went into ChatGPT and I asked who was the best med spa in Boise, and Spa 35 is who it said. So I called you guys. So we're seeing that already. And then kind of a related fact, I haven't told you this yet. I just binged myself for something. I binged Spa 35. I think I was doing some content creation. And now Bing actually went in and it found a video I did for our computer company. I do a bunch of work with Zenoti, our computer company. And they posted a YouTube video I did. And then Bing pulled that up into the search results. So like the breadth that AI is providing on the search side is dramatically increasing. And to Chris's point, I think now the focus has got to shift into the content creation side, because the more content you've got available to these AI agents, the more hits you're going to get.
Right.
But as a small business owner, and that could be we could do a whole podcast on this. How do business owners have to change how they do their business? You got the marketing agencies have to change their perspective on how they're going to do things in this AI environment. Yeah. And I really struggle with, I know a lot of business owners, and I just was talking to one last week, and this guy's like a painting, like a big, very well-known painter. He doesn't have a website. And so, Chris and I are talking about all this AI stuff, and we're talking about, GEO and blah, blah, blah. And I got a guy who doesn't own his own domain. So how do these small owners who can't buy their own domain, how do they thrive in this new environment? And I really think we're going to see this haves and have-nots. And I just did another webinar on that. It's like, if you don't adopt AI and get on board now, you're going to get left in the dirt. I don't see any other way. Unless you're a drug dealer, and I don't see a way that you're going to be able to survive if you're a small, medium-sized business owner. If you can't get on top, either get an agency who's going to help you with the AI, or get up to speed fast, because you're going to get left behind fast.
Yeah. Well, and with all the generative tools out there now, I mean, there's so many of them that keep popping up, and even more every day. And there's different tools for different things to get different things done. But I think if we continue to evolve and make our websites friendly for the robots out there that are looking for us, but you also have to have the human touch too, right? I mean, the verbiage that you put out there, if a human's looking at it, you want it to make sure that it sounds human, not just what a robot would want, right? Yeah,
absolutely. It's a lot of opportunity right now. The next, I'd say 1 to 2 years, maybe 2 to 3 years, it's going to go fast. It's going to go fast, but people are still looking at websites, and so they still need to serve people. But what's nice is that you can get ahead of the curve and get on the right track, kind of, so to speak, right now. So by just doing the basics, again, by really harnessing your expertise and your experience, that's the number one thing that you can do as a business owner. Is the first thing we do for a client is to establish their expertise, whether it's through a bio page or an author profile or whatever that is. And is fully curated, because again, whether someone's looking at it or an AI is looking at it, you want it to be found. And so establishing your online resume, your website is a place for that to live. And when you connect that then to the information you're putting out, that's what's going to help you get found in those AI searches. And so whether it's a person who's actually browsing Google in an old kind of style way, so to speak, where they're clicking a blue link, going to your website and reading about your expertise, Google's algorithm rewards that right now, and the AI algorithms will continue to do that. So even if the website becomes obsolete, where people are just speaking into their phone and saying, hey, who's the best personal injury attorney in downtown Chicago, and all that happens is the AI gives them an answer, the AI has to get that answer from somewhere. And so having a place where your expertise and your experience can be found and leveraged is critical. It's critical now, and it will be critical 2 to 3 years from now.
Well, and I think that the new kind of universal Google announcements really were like, from my understanding, is that you can ask your device, hey, I want red boots, size 10, female, I need to shop for that. And it'll just curate it for you and automatically put it in your shopping cart. And then you can just choose which ones you want.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Scary.
Shopping just made it easier.
Yep. Yeah. E-commerce is going to be fun for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Want to start a podcast but don't know where to begin? At Poderific, we don't just produce podcasts. We help you create auditory experiences that will captivate your audience. Our state-of-the-art podcast recording studio, powered by Peppershock Media, is designed for creators like you. Record with high-quality equipment supported by our expert team, and distribute your podcast across major platforms like Apple and Spotify. Whether you're launching your first episode or you're a seasoned podcaster, we got you covered. Visit Poderific.com today to learn how we can help you produce, record, and share your story with the world. Your podcast deserves to be Poderific.
So Warren, in kind of the evolution of thought leadership and being the authority, one of the authorities in your industry. I mean, you've done this for a while, and I happen to know that you are. How are you planning out kind of the next, I don't know, couple months, but then like 6 months, a year, 2 years from now? Like, are you thinking about the content that you're going to start curating more of?
Yeah, I got to listen to Chris more.
Yeah.
Everything is a time management issue. Like, where do you spend your time? When you wake up in the morning, where's the best use of your time every day? Yeah. And I think that's a core issue for small, medium-sized business. Like, where do you spend your time? My job is I got to balance employees, customers, all this marketing stuff, and it's really a challenge. And at the same time I'm doing all this is, my software company is rolling out AI tools. Like, they're just going bonkers. So I think Chris and I have talked about this quite a bit. All the software as a service companies are really modifying, I'll say, evolutionizing. I'm not sure the right word is. I mean, they are all rewriting all their applications and their systems to incorporate AI as best they can. Yeah. So there's, on the one side, you get like someone told me, you get the gulp rate, like how much can you swallow on every part of your business, right? So there's so much technology you can incorporate in your operational side. And there's so much technology you can incorporate on your marketing side, and balancing that is a little bit of a challenge. It does force us to go back and re-look at the content again, because the more content you've got, the better you're going to perform. And sometimes content's expensive and takes a lot of time and expertise, right? Yeah. So that's where you got to look to a marketing agency to help you create a lot of that. You can't do a lot of that internally. Yeah. But it does mean, from a day-to-day perspective, I got to spend more time on the strategic side to say, okay, what are the strategic initiatives that if I don't do them now, that will affect us in the future? Meanwhile, I gotta make my numbers today. Yeah,
you got payroll, you got taxes to pay, all the other things that entrepreneurs go through. Absolutely. So you're right. Time management, weighing it out. Like, how much time do we need to spend on all of the things, and can we repurpose content? And we're doing a lot of that right now. I think we record something, then we can turn it into blog posts, then we can turn it into little snippets and do all of the things that help with SEO and generative SEO and. I mean, I guess there's kind of, everyone's calling it a little bit different things. Yeah. It's still the Wild West. What is it that you call it? Like, when you incorporate things that are good for not just search engines, but the chat GPTs and Geminis out there, what are we calling that?
I've gone with generative engine optimization.
Okay. Generative engine optimization.
It's all the same. And really, it's nothing particularly new as far as SEO and GEO. It's good GEO is good SEO. Yeah. That's what's great, is that you can still, if you're doing fundamentally good SEO, then it will translate into GEO. The opportunity that exists is that if you accelerate that that GEO work, where, just like you're talking about, and that's a brilliant approach, where you create one piece of content and then repurpose it into many different, because again, it's search everywhere. And getting in front of people, is there's ways. A lot of people think like, well, it's all over. Like, AI is just going to take over all the search, and I don't have a chance. And it's definitely not true. I mean, people consume content in so many different ways now, and they're going to continue to consume them in different ways. So things like video content is a perfect example. Video content is probably the single most powerful piece of marketing that any business owner can do, period. And most don't do it because it's so complicated. And now with the capabilities of AI, even if it's a hybrid version, it doesn't have to be all AI, but it can be. But also you can use it to edit. You can use it to create more videos at scale. It's absolutely incredible how good it is right now. So just leveraging what's available now to do. When I have a client create one solid, like I have a client, it's an attorney down in Austin, and I tell this story to a lot of other clients because it's unbelievable. But he did a video. This is going on almost 3 years ago, and we call it a hero video. It's he's an estate planning attorney. he created this great video, and it was a home run. It's a 2-minute video. We've been running that on Meta ads for 3 years, and he gets, 100 leads a month from it.
Wow.
At a cost per lead of around $20.
Especially for lawyers.
And he's been using same video for 3 years. That's how powerful video content is. So leveraging AI for things like that to finally go, okay, I am going to start to create some videos now because it's so much easier to do. Yeah. I think is a massive unlock for business owners.
Yeah. Video has always been definitely a way to share your story without having people read a whole bunch of text on they'll read the subtitles because it's just going along, no problem. But reading all of the same thing on, the website that not everybody reads, but the robots do. The text bots that want to understand your website and score you with relevancy and all those types of things. Sure. Yeah. What are some things now that you are incorporating? So like maybe frequently asked questions or H1 titles. Like what are some things that you're doing differently to help with generative engine optimization to get there so that people show up in the results?
Yeah, the biggest, it's not really, it's not on-site SEO anymore. It's not, it's not that you have fundamentally good, title tags and meta descriptions and all that. But again, it's the expertise tied to the content. So it's two things. It's curating your own expertise. Like how many business owners, any business owner, it doesn't matter, you and I, it could be a local service business, Warren, anybody, any business owner has expertise that they can leverage, and they should be leveraging it. So what we're doing is that we're making certain that their expertise is showcased online, and then we're tying that to the content that either they or we help them put out.
Right.
And the way we're finding that content is that we're going and looking for the questions that are being asked.
Yeah.
There's different tools that you can use. Answer the Public is a tool that you can use to find questions, but also using AI to use SEO tools. Now I'm getting a little in the weeds, but like Ahrefs or something to go and do competitor research. So finding blog posts and questions that are getting a lot of traffic and a lot of information or a lot of attention in another market, and then just using it in their market over here. Yeah. And then you tie that expertise to that blog post and you watch how much traffic that you get in your market. Yeah. It works exceptionally well. So it's not necessarily keywords and H1 tags and anything technical. It's more expertise and answering people's questions. And when you connect those two, that's exactly what AI is looking for. That's exactly what it wants, because it wants to give that best answer from the most authoritative person.
Yeah. And those frequently asked questions certainly help in that regard. One of the assignments that I gave to my students this last semester, and I've done this assignment for 5 years, but we incorporated some new things using AI. It's doing a competitive analysis for the brand that they're working on at the time. And then now prompt engineering and understanding questions that they can ask AI about the competitors. I was surprised at how much people allow information to go into the ChatGPTs of the world, and how much what you would otherwise maybe not necessarily want out there, like proprietary information. And my students were digging in and getting all kinds of things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if they even know that this information is now in the world of, all these learning machines and things. So is there some recommendations that you might give to your clients about maybe there are some things that we don't necessarily want the world to know because we do it as a proprietary sort of trade, this is kind of how we operate our business. Are there ways to protect yourself in utilizing these tools?
I think you pretty much nailed it. It's being aware of the fact that anything can be found in a drop of a hat. It's very easy to discover. Discovery is very easy, and so simply being aware of that and being careful what you put out there as far as what's being put out there. And then on the flip side of that, when you're using AI, making sure that you're doing it, with caution, things like that. That goes into using a sandboxed Mac Mini or a sandboxed virtual setup or anything like that. So that's because it can read any files you want. So accidentally putting out information can happen too. So being very aware of that also as you are using it.
Right. and medical, records and things like that shouldn't be out there in the world, and protecting yourselves and your company and all of the things. I think we were just reviewing our insurance policy with our insurance company. Of course, we fly drones and do all this. We have to have special insurance for that. But then now it's like the cyber security and, information protection and those types of things. I imagine being in med spa too, you have lots of things you have to be diligent about and keeping people's medical information safe and all that, right? Yeah,
that becomes more and more difficult.
Yeah,
makes me think about too. So if the listeners are an employee looking for work, I would make sure you look at your Facebook page before you make sure it's public. Because now employers like AI can find anything about any candidate, and it's amazing what people will post.
Oh man!
So it makes, I think, the side that no one's really talking about right now is just from a privacy perspective, kind of what's going to happen on the privacy side.
Yeah.
From a regulatory perspective, what's going to happen on the regulatory side. And then are some consumers going to just chill out and get a flip phone and not participate? Because I've got a lot of older customers, and I'm already getting some pushback from these older folks. They're like, I don't want any of this. I don't want that. I don't want electronic forms, blah, blah, blah. And so depending upon your target segment, you may have to take a different approach.
Well, what's old is new, like you said before. I mean, maybe we'll start walking around with Walkmans and
right,
Game Boys and all
that.
I
thought about it. I'm thinking about buying like an unplugged phone so they can't track. I mean, I was having a conversation with one of our nurse practitioners about a supplement subscription model, and suddenly I started seeing ads on my Facebook. I'm like, wow, I didn't search on Facebook for this, but somehow it knew what we were talking about.
To you.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Google the world if you're listening right now.
We got 3 phones. It definitely is.
Yeah, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
100%. Well, this has been a great conversation. I'll just give you both kind of a chance to share anything else that you'd like to share with the audience and about your experience and your business, and feel free to plug what you do and all of that. Warren, I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, I think my closing statement would be get on board with AI or just get left behind. The learning curve is really steep, but now's the time to get on top of the learning curve and learn it. Because if you don't, you're really going to suffer. And if you need help, call Chris.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I would say from just kind of what we're working on right now, as far as if you're using AI right now, so there's kind of two methods or two worlds right now where people are going to ChatGPT and they're using it as a chat bot, asking some questions. And whatever it's trained on, those are the answers it gets. But the next evolution of that and where there's a ton of capability right now is in actually building with AI. So building systems. And that sounds complicated, more complicated than it really is. Building with AI is actually as simple as folders and files, markdown files and folders. And so what we've found it for our own business and our own agency, where there's a ton of value in it for us, is that it's a place where we can download all of our knowledge and all of our information over the last 15 years. So everything that, websites that I've built for the last 15 years, all the conversion, everything I've learned about local service business and conversions on a website, all lived in my head up until about 3 months ago.
Wow.
And I started to work with my files and folders and started to build all that knowledge base.
Yeah.
And what that translated into for me, and what it can translate into other business owners in many different ways, is, I was trying to scale my company, and I was having to hire expert web developers and graphic designers and that sort of thing to grow the company. And it's very difficult to find that type of expertise and that exact type of fit. Whereas once I built this system and downloaded all of my knowledge base information into it, I can actually train anybody to use it. So that's a huge unlock for us, where I can now hire anybody and they can build a site at the level and the capability that it took me 15 years to get to.
Right.
And that was a massive wake up for me when I realized, wow, this is amazing as far as that goes from a business owner standpoint. So, there's so many things that business owners can do as far as using it, building with it, and that knowledge base now exists. And not only it exists, but it's usable at so anyone can chat with it and interact with it and leverage it. So that would be my kind of piece of advice, is to look at that, because it's not as hard to do as you might think, and it is unbelievably powerful. It's the unlock to AI right now, in my opinion.
That's awesome. The unlock to AI. That's like a good prompt too. How do I unlock AI? No.
Right. That's it. Files and folders. It's simpler than you think.
Yeah, that's great. Chris, how can people get a hold of you if they're interested in working with you?
Yeah, all my contact information is at clicksloose.com, and happy to have a conversation anytime.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure we will with Peppershock and work together.
Yeah.
And Warren, same for you. I know you're here in Boise, but you can offer information to anybody in the whole entire world. All
right. Well, Ray, when you're old enough for Botox, let me know. You go to spa35.com. My email is warren@spa35.com. And I talk about this topic quite a bit, so I love talking about it.
Yeah. Well, you do more than Botox, too.
Oh, we do. We're a full suite med spa. So if you want to lose weight, lose hair, this is a joke, but I always tell people I want to look great I want to look great in my coffin. So I'm doing everything, right? I'm doing testosterone, progesterone. We're doing it all. And the exciting part right now is this is a little bit of a sidebar, but the AI is actually driving the longevity business right now. So you think about all the things that are involved in the aging process.
Yep.
The people who are building these AI agents out are really attacking the aging side of everything. Uh-huh. So if you're interested in living longer and living a more fulfilled life, stay on top of all the people like David Sinclair and Gary Brecka and those. I mean, there's fabulous stuff coming out. So I think our lifestyles are going to be dramatically different 5 years from now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and more information, more research, more things that people are comfortable with doing that maybe back in the day were a little afraid of, or, had the fear of like, I don't want to do that. But now there's safe, practical procedures and things that you can do that are not going to be damaging in the long run.
Well, and the research available to the common person, and people can do all the research on their own. You don't have to go to a vendor to get that trust factor anymore. Wish we could have a whole other podcast on this, but I mean, people can do the research on their own and pick the right service for them.
Good. Or they can search Gemini.
Right,
tell you.
exactly.
And then Warren will come up as the authority.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you guys for coming to the Peppershock Poderific studio and being face-to-face. Yeah. And for those of you listening, the best thing that you can do is share this with others that you know who could hear what we had to say today. And, of course, subscribe and give us a review. It's like gold. Mm-hmm. And until next time, everybody, enjoy your marketing journey.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Expedition podcast. Want to continue the journey? Don't miss out on new episodes. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. Wouldn't it be great if there was one place you can go to get all the latest information and tips about marketing and advertising? The Marketing Expedition community is that place. People like you gather in our online community to build relationships with others and find the latest marketing trends, tactics, tools, and technology. We help you build your brand and your bottom line. Start your adventure today. Visit themarketingexpedition.com to find out more.